Yo, uh, I told myself I was gonna make a video of the trade today before I went to bed. So here it is. This is a trade I took today. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of talk you guys through what I did. So, like I said, I always, okay, so it's a pretty simple process, but this is what I like to do, right? I like to go to the 30-minute first, and I always mark out my trading times, okay? So, New York session start, New York session close. Okay, and that gives me a good indication on what the time I'm trading in, and then I look at where what pre-market's saying before that. Okay, so I'm gonna first go down to the weekly because I always start my day off by looking at the weekly, and I try to make a bias about what market's telling me. Okay, so we had a liquidity sweep down here, so we knew market was gonna push up, right? And when that liquidity sweep happened, I was just following the move up consistently, right? And then we were looking at this. What were we looking at here? Okay, again, we were seeing that there was a weekly retracement here when market was moving down because we're still bullish, right? And a monthly retracement, mind you, because higher time frame holds higher value. Okay, so I was looking at yesterday's. I set yesterday's previous high, working in what was the weekly high, right? So now that's all I really found there. We can call this somewhat. We're just bullish at that point. There's no real order block that I was looking at either, right? There's nothing here to see regarding that. Went into the daily, right? Now I saw that there's a liquidity sweep here that took place on the 23rd, so on the weekend, right? The market, there was an imbalance here when market opened on the Monday. So, what does that tell us? And a closure right here below, right? Mm-hmm. Candle closed below this, so we are bearish right now. So we are having a what? A weekly retracement, daily retracement on the weekly, right? So market's moving down just to move up again, because need I say more? Look at that. Okay, so that happened. What was I looking at then after that? I saw that this was my leg up before my leg down. So I have a little bit of an order block forming here. All right. Now, this can be looked two ways now. To be honest with you, I don't know if this was the order block or this was the order block coming in and where was price going to shoot back to. So now that I look at it in hindsight, right, maybe this was the order block that we were exploring. So this would realistically, we would be more so here. The entire move down before the move up, right? So this would kind of be the order block area, right? Fortunate for us, still kind of works out to our favor on what we were looking at, right? Went down to the 4 hour to see what was popping down there, right? Looking at basically at this point, we have there's a few things I'm actually looking at right now. We have the order block range, right? And we're just marking out previous areas of liquidity like we marked out before. Area of liquidity here. So below that, that's all liquidity under here, right here, right? Coming here as well. This was on the daily, so we're gonna move that to sorry. When I got into a smaller time frame, I don't remember what time frame that was exactly, but yeah. So areas of liquidity, price went down. Areas of liquidity did mark that down, but here we got area of liquidity right there as well. Price moved up. Okay, liquidity sweep up here. So yeah, just looking at order box and liquidity sweeps in the 4 hour as well. Just trying to go down that when I look for my making a complete bias, right? That okay, for the day we're bearish, right? It's telling us that we're bearish, right? And remember earlier I told you guys that we can make two kind of trades. We can make trades here, then here, then here, and here, then here. So if you're bullish, right, and market is bullish, right? So what you have is, one second. I don't really need an info line. I don't need an extended line. Man, let's just set up the trend line, okay? So this is a trend, right? Market's moving up, right? Then you got another trend where market is moving down, right? And you see how the higher, if it's bullish, this line's always going to be bigger than this line, right? So the best time to trade usually is in between here to here. And then you can still trade here to here, but it just depends on what time you're entering. If you're coming in, let's say throughout your day, and this is when you see the best possible trade, right? Then take that, and you won't have time to follow this line up later, right? So that's the way I look at it. Just depends. Everyone's got their own thing, but that's what makes it most sense to me. Okay? And some people are so good at this. I haven't really gotten great at this. Okay. So 4 hours, right? We're looking at the time frame that we're trading in. We're looking for a good entry point. We're looking for basically an exit point as well, right? So liquidity sweep down. Look at that. Price was again low, moved up, swept liquidity again, right? Moved down for a bit, came here, swept liquidity, moved up, went down, moved up, right? Pretty simple to follow, right? Went down to the hourly, right? Okay, what was market telling me at that time? I got a few different things working out for me here, right? So I think I'm gonna go down to 30 minutes so you guys can understand a little bit more what I was looking at, and even I can understand a little more what I was looking at that time, right? Um, Leg down, order block, right? Fair value gap right here. So we knew price was gonna come back in this, right? Um, Move down a little more. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, we got fair value gap coming there. We have just that big ass order block before that I was looking at. It's very messy. I know, guys. Only I can really understand what was going on in my mind at that point. So that's why I'm talking to you guys through it. We had a big ass, fat ass fair value gap, right? From here to here, right? I think I measured. What time frame did I put that in? Right there. Yeah, you guys see that? For value gap. Okay, this one. I guess I extended it a bit low. What was this? This was my order block. So my entire leg down before the move up, right? But this was my entry. So I kind of set that order block in place already. Now we go down to the 5 minute. Okay, guys. I was looking for equilibrium price, right? And then that's how I did my stop loss, right? So where I set my stop loss was right here, right? Previous areas of liquidity. If you guys follow along, we can see that that's why it's so important to measure it, right? Because now you have previous areas of liquidity, right? So I measured my stop loss right here at 110. And where was my take profit? Bruh. 212.48. You can see price never reached that, but I was in the positive the whole time, right? Because this was my entry point, right? And this was my exit point. So I let this trade ride out for a bit because I made all the correct guesses. When liquidity was swept here, I knew market was going to move up and it was going to keep moving up. And I wanted to get the price at a good market price, right? So equilibrium, you guys see this? This is our equilibrium, right? So if we extend this equilibrium, right? You can see when I got into it, we were below equilibrium and we ended up higher than equilibrium. So we got at a good buying price and we got out, right? I had my order blocks measured in. I knew when price was going to come back into this. So right here, I saw price was coming back into the order block areas. The orders were going to be filled, and it was the fair value gap. So I had two confluences, and I had the equilibrium confluence. So think about this. This is everything I had. I had liquidity sweep. I had break of structure. I had a fair value gap and an order block, right? And I had equilibrium. Now, like this trade I was gonna win, right? It was how long? Maybe my shot was a bit too high. I think if in hindsight even if you think about this trade, no, that's not like I couldn't set this as a just take profit either, right? Because this is my New York market time. Like, what was I gonna make this much more, right? For price going up. Eventually it was gonna touch this, right? And you could have set a take profit right here and you would have hit it. But again, I was watching it and I was moving up, and usually when you become a bigger trader and better trader, right, you got more money, right? So then you're gonna make more. As you can see, I only have a value of $5,158.65. Okay, so that was kind of my trade in hindsight. What I was looking at. I'm probably gonna try to take another trade tomorrow. Maybe not GJ. I think. Let's see what we can trade tomorrow. I always like trading metals, but ever since my silver debacle, whatever. Like, I'm not sensitive about it. Yeah, like we're gonna make money. This was me setting it in gold, right? Again, I set up the whole trade. I don't think I've followed through with the trade because I don't think price ever went into the equilibrium that I was looking at it. Yeah. So I never took that trade because it was above market value, and I made a new rule. Like I'm gonna find liquidity sweep, break a structure, order block, fair value gap, equilibrium. Whenever I take a trade, these five things have to be there for me to take a trade, right? Order block and fair value gap. If I can just see one of those, I'll take the trade, right? But the other four have to be there, right? The other three. So it can be you can change it between order block or fair value gap, right? But liquidity sweep, break a structure, equilibrium, I need that, and then either fair value gap or order block. Okay, so kind of that's the information, and there's nothing really special to it. I'm gonna try to take another trade tomorrow, probably maybe gold. Ooh, silver, fuck silver, but yeah, if it makes sense, we find a good entry point. Yeah, silver's moving down. Silver is shooting down. Think about that. It was a 121, went all the way down to 106. But you could have shorted the fuck out of that if you could have read this liquidity sweep here, right? And once you saw that break of structure right there, okay, liquidity sweep, okay, because that's above previous highs, right? Liquidity sweep, break of structure right there, okay, right there, you got your break of structure. Now, what are we looking at? Order block right here, price going down, okay, and yeah, maybe your take profit would have been here. Your stop loss could have been like, fuck, if that's it. That you don't really have much to play off a stop loss, but you can probably set a very tight stop loss, right? Yeah, you could have taken this trade, man, and you could have made a decent chunk of change on shorting this for sure. But where's my fair value gap? I gotta find a fair value gap entry. Okay, right, fair value gap right there. You got a fair value gap. Price would have went in there. Yeah, you could have shorted the shit out of this one, to be honest with you. And people probably made a lot of money off this. The people that did short it. Then you got another opportunity. That's the thing about this market. It's gonna always give you opportunities, right? But you just have to be there, ready to take them and ready to look. And you're gonna lose, and you're also gonna win. And right now, I'm just back into the demo mode, putting the work in, making it proven to myself again that this is something I can do consistently and do consistently well because you need that. And yeah, guys, that's about it. I'm gonna clocking in at 12:37 a.m. and got gym in the morning. I'm gonna get up early. Just don't stop, but that's what I love about it. Cause if it was easy, everyone would do it. All right, you guys take easy. I will catch you guys tomorrow. I don't know if it's gonna be a double video day tomorrow again. It probably will just be a single video, maybe a trade analysis. Probably will be a trade analysis video. Okay, you guys take care. Peace out.